What's up, guys? So, it's Andrew. I'm here to talk about this new ideology that apparently has been in the system or industry for a year, give or take. But it's the idea of having the dog, as you can see, bite into the safe spot. So, because of time and stuff like this, I'm not gonna play through the video. I'm gonna just pause it and break it down as we go. So, from the get-go, the dog is ready. Okay, a lot of people do that.
That's a place to buy. Make sure it's better even between short breaks. But this is good enough.
That goes into that, that the dog is being taught or what is being presented to the dog. It's just normal training right there. Now, see how he's moving his hand? He's demonstrating what makes it the safe spot. What makes it the safe spot, or what they're teaching you to be the safe spot, means that the dog cannot be hit by any kind of threat by the subject or from the subject. The dog is perfectly safe. As you can see, the dog can't get hit by the subject. Now, my question is it safe for the handler? Is it safe for the populace that are in the area? If this was a real life situation, this guy has all means to pull a weapon from the front, from the sides. He can shoot the handler, he can shoot anybody that's in the facility. He can even manipulate the dog to be able to shoot the dog to a degree. All he has to do is get on the ground and wait for the dog to release. This is the result of not spoon-feeding the answers to people like you see that posted this video. Me and this gentleman used to talk all the time about philosophies and tactics and techniques and fundamentals, all this type of stuff. And for a while now, he was mirroring me, copying me, quoting me, and trying to train and present himself to train to the same extent and standards that I do, which he's apparently has never been able to do. At one point, he was teaching or trying to teach, or saw the illusion of him teaching or trying to teach or whatever, the idea of engaging the subject on the strong arm, the weapon side. Apparently he hasn't figured out how to do that, because if you watch some of his videos, he talks about and breaks down questions from people. What if, in the strong arm he only has a stick, but in the non-strong arm, the weak arm, he has a knife. Well, apparently he hasn't been able to teach the dog to understand threats, to recognize threats, to be able to detect threats and determine what is a threat, and be able to transfer bites. Apparently he hasn't been able to teach the dog the stuff that goes into having an effective dog that can engage the weapon side at all times, no matter if the weapon is in that side or not. Like I said before in many videos, if for whatever reason the dog attacks the right arm, which most of the population is right armed, but for whatever reason this guy's left-handed or whatever, then the dog should transfer that bite. If the threat is presented even before the dog engages, then he should go for that weapon automatically. That is what the dog should be taught, is to go for the right side or go for the weapon if the right side is not carrying a weapon. But apparently this guy who's posting this video has not been able to do that. He hasn't been able to recognize or understand transfer bites, or to teach the dog to engage the strong arm to pick up on threats. Now right here, see how he's got the dog biting? In a real life situation, That's more on the shoulder, just off the shoulder. But in a real life situation, the dog's not going to be able to bite everywhere. As you're about to see, the dog and the handler and the subject get called over to be set for the next bite. So I'm going to fast forward it just a little bit for time's sake. But you're going to get the gist. He's just thinking, this is where he gets called over to readjust for the next bite. Watch what happens. This gentleman that owns this training facility or training methods and all that is the guy in the glasses. That is Mr. Alpine himself. Now watch what he's doing. He's specifically modifying the bite suit so the dog can get the bite. It's piss poor training and tactics being deployed. Because in real life, that dog's going to bite and he's going to grab the shirt and the shirt's going to rip and the decoy's going to be able to do whatever. Especially as you saw, the dog just bites and holds. It's not pulling the subject. It's just hanging on to subject as the subject walks casually. If the dog was to grab something like that in real life, it would be a shirt. If the dog pulls, that shirt's going to be ripped off and the subject's going to go free. Why? Because people, unless they have a lot of bat fat, which looking at the individual in the photo, you can tell even with having quote-unquote bat fat to obsessive amount, it's still not enough to be able to be grabbed by a dog. Unless you really have titties on the back, the dog has nothing to grab there. So why the hell are you teaching the dog to do that? Obviously it's because I stopped spoon feeding you answers and you couldn't figure out how to effectively teach tactics that you were trying to convince other people that you were doing. And the more they called you out and the more they caved you in with the philosophies and the ideologies that go behind it, you were unable to present real world situations and scenarios and training experience to be able to make it real, to be able to be like, hey, it's effective, it's efficient, it's proficient, that dog should be doing it. So the fact that you moved from teaching a dog to engage the strong arm to stuff like this, my question is, what understanding do you have at all of a dog? Now, apparently, I guess this is the dog's first time because they lifting them up and getting them familiarized with it. But watch how the guy leans. The dog has no control of that situation. Even if he is pulling, the guy leaning forward takes the dog out of control completely. This is uncalled for or unnecessary. Doing stupid stuff like that is going to see how the dog's legs off the ground? It's going to get the dog killed, it's going to get the handler killed, and it's going to get someone in the populace killed. And notice too that it's not even when the dog is released to go onto the bite, it doesn't even go close to the strong arm, the weapon side. It keeps engaging closer to the armpit of that weak side. That's basically what you're teaching the dog to do. It's just to bite whatever. And notice how he's swinging that arm in. Yes, at that angle, he could still stab that dog if he had a long enough weapon to do, because the dog is biting and holding. Any questions, comments, or concerns, get at me. Until next time, guys.